This is All Things Ansys, a podcast from the technical support staff at PADT. Episode 99, an update on Ansys HPC and Ansys Cloud, along with a look at the news and events from the world of Ansys. Welcome to our little podcast. My name is Eric Miller, one of the three owners here at PADT, and your host for these episodes. Wow, episode 99, the big 100, is just 2 weeks away. It will be a special episode. We're going to invite as many members of the PADT Ansys team as possible, sales, support, admin, consulting. It'll be a great chance for all of you out there who listen to get to know everyone and join us in celebrating our 100th episode of the podcast. But right now, we're at episode 99. It's mid-October, the 16th of the month, actually, and we're here in Arizona. Seems to be in the middle of a lot of events. Many organizations put off holding events most of the year and want to get as many, both virtual and in person, as many of those in as possible before the holiday seasons begin. I don't know about you all, but we're also spending a lot of time talking about the issue of supply chain backup. Not only am I worried Santa won't be able to put my new Porsche Lego build set under our Christmas tree, it is really impacting our customers. And it doesn't seem like it is one of the a problem with the manufacturing side of things. It's getting the products from the factory to where you need it. It's very frustrating, and unfortunately, not a problem that any Ansys products can directly model and help solve. I know there are some process modeling tools out there that can be used for this type of problem. Maybe that's something that Ansys will add to the suite in the next acquisition. One area our customers and PADT have been applying simulation is looking at how different components, ones that you can actually get in a reasonable amount of time, will work with an existing design. So basically modeling, swapping out parts at the end of the design cycle. It's not fun, but we've been able to do virtual testing to see how these changes impact the performance and the behavior and all that stuff of the design, and make sure that if we or a customer does swap out a component, because that's what they can get, it's not going to cause any problems. So Ansys is helping a little bit in that area. And then I'm going to make a real stretch on this segue. But speaking of supply chain, what do you do when you can't get the computer power you need? Right now, we're waiting to PADT, when we order large HPC type workstations or compute servers, we're waiting 2 to 3 months, sometimes 4 months to get that hardware in. Some of the components are just really hard to find. So what do? What we do is we go to the cloud, and we thought it would be a great time to bring in Wim Slagter from Ansys and see what is new in Ansys HPC and Ansys Cloud. So let's listen in and find out. I want to welcome everybody to today's discussion on HPC usage for engineering simulation, and also about Ansys Cloud. And I am fortunate enough to be joined once again by Wim Slagter from Ansys Inc. Wim, thank you for joining me. Why don't we get started with you kind of introducing yourselves to our listeners that didn't meet you last time you were on, and what you're up to these days.
Yeah, thank you, Eric, for inviting me to your podcast series. Basically, I'm managing the global HPC and Cloud Alliance Partner Program at Ansys. And actually through this program, we are, you can say basically removing computing limitations from engineers, using our software so that they can increase their productivity and get higher fidelity insight into product performance.
Cool.
And again, very happy to be in this podcast with you, Eric.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join us. I know that everybody at Ansys is super, super busy these days. So I'm anytime I can get on anybody's schedule, I'm always very happy. Let's start with just kind of a quick update. I know on the HPC side, from the solver side of things, we're always improving the efficiency and performance, but kind of overall, what's going on new with HPC and cloud at Ansys?
Right. No, thank you for asking. So at Ansys, we, as you know, we have an intense focus on delivering HPC performance and capability, to basically provide organizations with higher levels of simulation accuracy and also the insight that I just mentioned, and help them to innovate faster, as you know. And through strategic partnerships, customers can then also achieve higher productivity, not only on current but also on emerging HPC solutions, and that can be on-prem, as you know, and but also in the cloud. And if we talk about cloud, we talk about Microsoft Azure, which has enabled us to develop our SaaS solution, software as a service solution called Ansys Cloud, and cloud, Ansys Cloud, for those who haven't seen it yet, they should definitely check it out. But it basically provides access to on-demand cloud-based computing resources, and resources that include both interactive servers and HPC clusters, and the beauty of it is that people can use it from within their Ansys products, like Mechanical, Fluent, Electronics Desktop, Spios, Discovery, LS Dyna Engineer, so that they can easily access HPC in the cloud directly from their applications running on their desktop. That's the beauty, and get access to very large compute capacity in the cloud.
Yeah, and I'll add, what we're finding with our customers and our own usage of it is it's good hardware. I think that's something. I think when people hear Azure, they think it's the same hardware that people are running like their website on, and no, this is really good HPC hardware.
And it's optimized. I mean, we did our ultimate best, working with Microsoft to find the optimal servers for our application, and that varies. That varies across our portfolio. As you know, CFD has other requirements than Mechanical and then Electronics, and the user does not have to have that knowledge in order to get the best server. That we have taken care of that. That's indeed a very good point, Eric. Good addition.
Yeah. It's easy to use too. I highly recommend people that haven't checked it out do so, because it's if you tried to run in the cloud 5 years ago, this is not the same cloud. Close.
Totally different. Totally different. That was at that time. I remember. I mean, I working in the cloud and with cloud partners already since 2012 or so, and maybe even beforehand when we talked about grid computing. It was more like a science project. If you would go to particularly to a public cloud provider, it would take easily months, if not half year, to get you up and running. That is gone.
That's gone. Totally gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
So the real reason why we wanted to get together today is learn about something that Ansys recently did, which is to do a survey on HPC usage for simulation, and kind of learn the why and what you learned. And let's start with the why. Why did you guys conduct a survey on HPC usage for simulation?
It was really about to better understand the usage of HPC-based simulation. And also to understand the challenges and drivers our users, basically engineers, face while expanding or even adopting the use of HPC solutions for simulations. And we also wanted to compare data from previous surveys, so that we can see how HPC has evolved over time, and of course the influence of COVID, the influence of the pandemic on its adoption. We also wanted to get a better feel of that on the impact of the usage for simulation.
Those are all good reasons. And who took the survey?
Basically. Let's say Ansys contacts so-called opt-in contacts, and but also readers from Digital Engineering, the magazine. And we got a lot of respondents, over almost 800 respondents back.
Right.
And maybe I can add also that most of them were R&D engineers, but also engineering managers and IT managers. Also some C-level executives were actually responding to the survey. So pretty good. Yeah.
That in and of itself is a good response, because anyone who tries to survey, and anyone who's ever tried to survey engineers knows that it's very hard to get them to respond, and that there's that level of response shows a level of interest that they want to give the feedback. So that's really good news. So can you summarize some of the key learnings? What stood out most to you in the results?
I can definitely do that. I mean, one of the things that stood out again was that really a large portion of respondents said that their most frequent simulations are actually running overnight.
Wow.
And so basically taking more than 9 hours. And that was more than 1/5. And I think that really tells me, at least, that a very large portion of users have to wait till the next day for the simulation results. And I find that strikingly long. Don't you think so, Eric? That's pretty...
People are definitely doing more complicated simulations than I assumed if it's taking that long. So, that is a surprise.
Yeah. That's one thing, and I also find it that about 1/3 of the respondents are almost always limiting the model size and amount of detail in simulation models due to long run times, so to say. So 1/3 are changing the model, maybe removing some complex physics in the model just to get the job done in an acceptable amount of time.
Right.
And losing therefore then also accuracy. That I find that also amazing. Because it will have an impact, a negative impact, so to say, on the quality of simulation results. Once you start limiting the model size or details in your model. I find that striking too.
Yeah, it is, and it shows that giving access to greater computer power through HPC and or cloud can really help people stop doing that and getting more accurate answers faster. So those are two really important answers to kind of drive in that direction. That's good. Anything else from key learnings?
It's what you said. That's it may also not be a full surprise. Because we know that about 40% of the respondents run exclusively on mobile and desktop computers. While we all know that our applications, the Ansys applications and the Ansys software basically scale far beyond a mobile or desktop computer. So people are definitely hardware constrained. So I think there is definitely an opportunity, and for customers to look around and consider HPC, whether that would be on-prem or off premises in the cloud.
And we found a really nice hybrid approach of having on-prem compute servers. I wouldn't call them clusters or even mini clusters, but some decent sized machines that we can get quick results on using HPC. And then when we need faster or bigger, then we go to Ansys Cloud, and it really is a nice compromise, and being able to scale like that for our consulting business has been fantastic. So
I can imagine that. And that's also basically coming out of the survey, that people are more and more shifting from, let's say, a workstation-centric environment or workflow, so to say, to a mix of computing platforms. Not, let's say, not exclusively running on one type of platform. But depending on the workloads, depending on the projects, that people start more using a mix of computing resources, whether that is through clusters on-prem or off-premises in the cloud. That's clearly coming out of the survey too, and I'm glad that your own organization seeing that as well and taking advantage of that as well.
Yeah, it really helps. So you had mentioned that this is not the first survey you've done like this. What did you notice that was a significant trend over time when you compared the two?
Yeah, I mean, in our let's say in our first survey, I remember that business agility was ranked near the top of business and IT benefits. So the ability to scale up and down as needed was, let's say, the top justification of cloud computing costs for companies of all sizes. But through our most recent survey, the adoption of remote collaboration and data management tools is actually top of mind, priority. And of course, that is related to the pandemic and the widespread, let's say, practice of social distancing, isn't it? I mean, the remote working became actually what I often call what we often call the new reality of many businesses. And I think that was a clear change in trend over time due to the pandemic, I think.
Yeah, I think it really accelerated that remote working and remote collaboration and not being near your hardware quite a bit.
Precisely. Yeah. Cloud is clearly an ideal platform to make things happen. And the role of IT, of course, is also increasingly pushed by engineering to deliver more and better systems. And if they can't do it, then engineers go elsewhere and either outsource or start using their simulations in the cloud, in the Ansys cloud. It's good.
Yeah, it's all positive trends. Yeah, very good. So now you got this data and you've got input from multiple surveys now. Do you guys plan on making any changes to your strategy or product based off the findings from this last survey?
Good question. Now, I mean, the surveys, I mean, give really good proof points. That we are either, let's say, already on the track, on the right track. Or that we may need some corrections along the way. I mean, and luckily the survey that we run didn't result in taking significant changes in our cloud strategy.
Good.
As a matter of fact, the surveys actually were, and the outcome was actually providing us good proof points with statistical value that our cloud strategy is sound. For example, the survey clearly revealed that engineering organizations are looking for what I already mentioned, the collaboration, to improve collaboration and the ability to burst out to the cloud when additional compute capacity is needed. And that was highly ranked, and the ability to also integrate and sync simulation results with other enterprise applications. All these capabilities, are either already enabled or currently that we are working on. So in that sense, it hasn't changed, but it is really good proof points. That we need to continue working on these important capabilities as being recognized and revealed through the latest survey.
Good. It's always good to have data. I think Ansys is really good about understanding where customers want to go, but when you have data to back it up, it really helps. Yeah, good.
It is so important, in order to make changes, and indeed, in particular, when you build up your strategy on it. Yeah.
And it kind of leads to the question of where do you see the Ansys Cloud offering going in the future? Now that things seem to be verified and working well, and customers like it, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, another good question. Yeah, now, as you know, we started off with supporting our so to say flagship products, like Mechanical, Fluent, and Electronics Desktop in Ansys Cloud. But over time, we've been extending the support with other applications like Ansys Discovery simulation for doing real-time simulations, but also SPIOS for optic simulations and CFX for turbomachinery simulations. And furthermore, the Ansys Cloud will also be what I call the backbone for cloud-based simulation solutions in the area of 5G, AI, autonomous, where we are quickly expanding our footprint in the marketplace. So, for example, vehicle makers are as you know, under pressure to develop safe and cost-effective ADAS and automotive driving technology. And for traditional automotive companies, it is really a race for market share. And for new mobility companies, time to market is so key. So with many technical barriers between modern vehicle systems and full automation, simulation is really necessary and critical. And I can tell that simulation software can help engineers solve problems in a shorter time frame, lower cost, and demonstrating safety standards that are compliant. And also, and cloud is obviously, Ansys Cloud would be the ideal platform to enable all of this. So that's clearly one clearly important application. Of course, 5G is another one. If you still have some time left, 5G requires
huge amount of. I can't tell you how many customers of ours are designing antennas and optimizing antennas, and again, a great application for cloud.
These next generation 5G systems are so complex. And it poses so many questions and challenges. That's completely right. And we want to enable that also on the cloud. Things.
It's one project in particular I think is a great example because we don't really know how to get from point A to point B, so we have to iterate a lot. The customer has to iterate a lot, antenna design, and being able to do that with the flexibility of the way the cloud works has been fantastic for them to iterate quickly and not make a permanent investment in the hardware, right? Because when they're done with this, they're not going to need it for a while. So it's worked out well. Yeah.
Exciting. That's
cool.
The beauty of the cloud.
Yeah. Cool. Well, these results sounded like they're very helpful to you guys, and I found them interesting. If people want to get access to them, where can they download the survey results?
Yeah, that's indeed available in the resource center on ansys.com. So if you Google for HPC usage for engineering simulation, you will be able to find the resources
of
the study.
The study, and we'll make sure that we put that into the release notes on the podcast as well. We'll track it down and put the link in there.
Right.
Well, fantastic! It's exciting changes and continued improvement, and we can't wait till we can run Zmax in the cloud as well with the latest acquisition that's happening. I don't know how much you get involved in optics at all, but it's kind of a big deal for us. So we're once again excited about the great acquisition, another great acquisition for Ansys, and I hope that it plays well into as it always has in the past.
I'm sure.
HPC and cloud.
I'm sure.
So, good stuff going on in the world of Ansys. So, anything else you want to add before we take off?
No, I think the future is brighter with HPC and in the cloud, and can help customers and engineers become more competitive. And through this study, I think we can continue, and take advantage of these insights and keep on improving our software and meeting requirements from our customers. So thank you, Eric, for giving me the opportunity to elaborate more on the latest survey.
Well, and thank you and the rest of your team for taking the leadership in this for the whole industry, not just Ansys, and really making something that I think all of us as users have wanted for a long time, an easy to use and accessible reality that actually works. And so we appreciate your guys' effort. I know that when your head's down and you're doing all the heavy lifting, it's sometimes you don't get that feedback. But we're really, really pleased with the way it's going. So thanks for all the effort. Yeah. Great. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Next time there's a significant update on these products, we'll learn more then. And otherwise, you stay safe out there, and hope to see you in person sometime in the next months at some event.
Yeah, for sure. I look forward to.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye. Bye-bye.
As always, a very informative chat. A lot of effort is going into this area, and just in time for the flexibility that we all need to deal with a lot that's going on, working from home, the backup in the supply chain, people moving around in jobs. There's just a lot that these tools can help with. And for this episode's commercial, I want to promote two things, Ansys HPC and Ansys Cloud. I think Wim covered them both, and you should see the value based upon what he was talking about. The next step is to reach out to your Ansys salesperson, which should be PADT if you're lucky enough or smart enough to have us as your Ansys Elite channel partner. Ask questions, work with them on calculating ROI. We have many happy customers with both big and small that leverage both of these tools every day to get more out of their Ansys investment and get simulation done where they need it, when they need it. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ansys stock. It finished up on Friday at 358.85, which is about where I think today's the 16th, so the 15th at 358.85, and that's about where it started at the beginning of the year. In the past 12 months, just for some reference, the stock has been as low as 292. It's at 358 right now, and it's been as high as 413. There's still some time before the end of the year for it to go up a little bit more, but it looks like the S&P 500 has it's about 19% growth since January 1 so far this year, and Ansys has been up and down, but right now is flat compared to that beginning of the year. So in the world of Ansys news, there's actually two really important bits of news for users. The first is that Ansys has released a metal stamping product. If you follow the industry, LS Dyna, which is of course a product that Ansys acquired a few years back, is the dominant tool, and there are multiple third-party pre- and post-processors out there for metal forming, and some of them are quite old. So Ansys worked with customers to make an Ansys product. And take a look at the press release. It's from October 14th if you take a look at the Ansys news site. We're also going to try and get someone from the product team to come on and talk about it. It's a kind of analysis that we do here at Ansys, or at PADT. We don't use a special tool, so we're kind of excited to learn how to use this and speed up that process quite a bit. And if you're into customization, this is just as big, if not bigger news. Ansys now has several open source Python libraries on GitHub. So this is a place where you can store your open source programs, and other people can, your libraries, and other people can add to them and comment on them and support each other. So GitHub is the place to be. And they just announced last week that they have released PyMAPDL. So this is a Python interface for mechanical APDL, which is of course the solver behind Ansys Mechanical. PADT, which is an interface to the Ansys electronic desktop. So if you're using one of those electronics tools like HFSS or IcePack in the electronic desktop, you can use this Python extension library to access that information. And then they've got two other libraries, PyDPF Core and PyDPF Post. And they are data processing libraries. And they extract the data from files, both in Ansys and they support some third-party files. And you can do stuff with them, do math on them, look at them, find stuff you want to find, do data processing on them, and then also write them back out in various file formats. Now, I'm honestly not super clear on everything that's in those DPF core and post things, so I need to investigate a little bit more. But I think it's the start of more accessibility in a user-driven way. We've had Python scripting in most of the Ansys products, and of course APDL and Ansys APDL for decades. But this is a new step forward for a more open source approach to it that will allow users to do more with Ansys. So very excited about that, and everybody should check it out if you're into customization, and we'll try and cover some more on that in the future. Both of these actually are the stamping and these GitHub libraries are great topics for us to cover in the future, and we'll try and get somebody on to explain it to us and to you. PADT news-wise, I don't think I covered this in the last podcast, but if I do, I apologize. But we had a really big announcement a couple of weeks ago. PADT announced that we received a Phase 3 STTR grant from NASA, and it's relevant to the Ansys world because it's to continue some work we are doing around topological optimization. So this is a tool we developed. It runs as an ACT extension on top of Ansys Mechanical to drive optimizations towards shapes that were more closely mimicking shapes in nature. So it's a different approach to topological optimization. It is also what's unique about it is it does optimization, shape optimization, topological shape optimization for multiple physics. So it's not just one. So there's a lot of different things that we can optimize on. So for this phase, we did that in Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the STTR grant. And for Phase 3, we'll be coupling the tool to a CFD shape optimizer from Penn State. And that will add another physics to the mix. It's a $375,000 grant, and it starts in January. And one of the goals is to end up with an even better tool that we will put a little bit more effort into to publish, so that it's a tool that you folks can use in the future, hopefully. So stay tuned to learn more about that as we work our way through improving that capability. Blog-wise, I've got 3 articles to recommend in the Ansys blog. The first recommendation for your reading is a look at how Ansys plans to integrate ZMax with our other optical and mechanical tools that are already in the Ansys suite. As we've covered in the podcast, Ansys acquired ZMax a few months ago, and they're starting the roadmap of that integration. The article is called "The Importance of Optics from the Nanoscale to the Macro Scale." So if you are all involved in the world of optics, I recommend you check that one out. The second one, I have to admit, really only got my attention because the image at the beginning of the article is a jet engine, and it happens to be a Garrett TFE 731 family member. And this is an engine that I started learning Ansys on many, many decades ago, and 3 decades ago, actually. And several other folks at PADT have worked on the engine over the years. That family is still alive and well. And the article, which is called "Combustor Turbine Interaction Challenges and Solutions," is about how the combustor and the turbine, so the turbulence and the flow and all the behavior in the turbine, how that interacts with the combustion, and it impacts emission, noise, efficiency, and durability, and some other stuff as well. It's a really tough simulation problem to do, but PADT has been working with Honeywell and Ansys to get better tools for understanding this interaction and coming up with solutions so that they can model it and figure out what's going on. And other turbomachinery companies, of course, are doing the same. It's a great example of multi-row rotating machinery simulation and solving some really difficult big problems. So do check that out if you're interested in any of that. And the third article is pretty simple. It's the blog article on that GitHub library that I was just talking about. You can get information there. It's called Ansys Gets. Get it? Ansys Gets into open source with GitHub. So, PADT blog, Miles has continued to publish every Friday articles that help Flownex users. So if you're a Flownex user, do check that out. He's got some really good ones. They're all good, but there's some really interesting ones lately. And if you're curious about Flownex and what it does, they're a great way to get a feel for how easy this tool is to use and how powerful it can be for thermal fluid simulation. Also, one of PADT's CFD experts, Tom Chadwick, posted a blog called Using Ansys Fluent's Gradient-Based Optimization. And this is a great, simple example of how you can do shape optimization in CFD to optimize some of the flow characteristics. It's kind of like topological optimization, but it's not. It's totally different. But it's kind of the same thing in that it's a way to use results to drive changing the surface of your solid geometry in a way that drives towards some optimal goal. It's a pretty simple piece of geometry, so it's a great way to understand how Fluent does this kind of optimization, and should guide you to more complex ones where you want to get some sort of a flow result and need to morph the geometry to do it. So check that out. Great example. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the PADT website and our events page, because it's a busy time, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And the best way to always tell what the heck we're doing here at PADT is to go to our website and check out www.padtinc.com/events. And that's where I am right now. You can hear me typing there. So I think I mentioned the last podcast, one of the things we're doing right now is Stratasys and PADT have partnered together to bring their little mobile truck out to the Southwest to show off some of the new technology that Stratasys has brought to market. So if you're interested in the whole world of additive manufacturing, we're going to be in Los Alamos on the 19th, then down in Albuquerque on the 20th. And then it's going to come out to Phoenix to be here for our open house on the 27th of October and finishing up in Tucson on the 29th. So do check out the events page to learn more about that if you're in any of those cities. A little bit more Ansys related. We've got a mechanical update for Ansys 2021 R1. This is a part 3 of that look at mechanical tools. And we're going to talk about encode, linear dynamics, and acoustics as part of that. And that's on the 20th from 11 to 12. And as always, you can go to brighttalk.com and Google search in there for PADT to find all of our past and present and future webinars, as well as register for this one, both live or listen to the recording. Some other local events in Arizona, if you're around town, is, in fact, the last one of the month, yay, is going to be the Arizona Technology Council CEO Leadership Retreat, which is up in Prescott. I always look forward to that event. We missed it last year. It was virtual. This is going to be an all-day event on the 26th. So if you're in leadership and you're interested in that sort of thing, check that out. The big event of the month is actually PADT's Nerdtoberfest 2021. So if you're going to be around Arizona on the 27th of October, we're going to have an open house from 4 to 7. We're actually referring to it as an open parking lot. We're doing limited tours inside the building because of COVID and all that stuff. But yeah, we're going to have a big event. Expect a couple hundred people to show up. We'll be in the parking lot mostly. We have bratwurst and hot dogs and beer and soda and water and snacks and all sorts of things, but it's just a really good chance to meet other folks in the engineering community in Arizona. So customers and vendors and all sorts of people are going to be here. We'll have some cool exhibits from a few of our customers that are nice enough to come out and show us off what they're doing with other people. So again, that's the 27th, and it's Nerdtoberfest 2021. And that is going to bring us through all of October and all those events and bring us through all of this podcast. So I want to thank you for joining us once again. Please don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, www.padtinc.com/opt-in, to get all the news and events about PADT, including when these podcasts come out. Do spread the word with folks. Do subscribe to the podcast wherever you subscribe to your podcasts. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for joining us for the All Things Ansys podcast, episode 99. As a reminder, this podcast is not affiliated in any way with Ansys Inc., and the opinions expressed are those of the people on the show only and not of their current or former employer. For more information, visit www.padtinc.com/blog, and please share your thoughts and questions through an email to podcast@padtinc.com. See you next time.